5:41 a.m. The sky over the Gulf of Oman is still dim, painted in that quiet blue-gray just before sunrise, when the sea looks calm, but every shadow feels like a warning. On board a U.S. Navy destroyer cutting through the water with controlled precision, the radar operator suddenly stiffens. A blip appears. Small, fast, wrong. At first glance, it's just another fishing vessel, the kind that clutters these waters every day. But something doesn't sit right. The speed is too high. The heading is too direct. This is not how fishermen move. This is how someone moves with intent. The contact is flagged instantly, and within seconds, the information travels from the radar console to the bridge. Eyes sharpen, voices tighten. The captain doesn't hesitate. Track it, classify it, do not lose it. Because in these waters, especially now, a simple fishing boat can carry something far more dangerous than nets and bait. It can carry a mission. The vessel is heading straight toward the Strait of Hormuz shipping lane, the artery through which a massive percentage of the world's oil flows. Tankers pass through here like clockwork, slow, heavy, and vulnerable. And lately, these waters have become a silent battlefield. Intelligence reports have been clear. Small civilian boats are being used to deploy anti-ship mines. Old wooden hulls, rusted decks, men dressed as fishermen, but beneath that disguise lies a calculated threat. The pattern is simple and deadly. One mine per trip. Quiet insertion, blend in, drop the payload, disappear. No noise, no trace, until a tanker hits it. On board the destroyer, the tension begins to rise. This isn't just a suspicious contact anymore. This is a potential mine layer in the middle of an active operation zone. The crew knows exactly what that means. Every second matters now. The distance closes, 15 miles. For a warship of this class, that's practically nothing. Weapon systems are ready. Targeting solutions can be locked in within moments. But there's a catch. There are always rules. Rules of engagement. And those rules demand proof. No visual confirmation, no strike, no confirmed threat, no trigger pulled. So the ship holds fire, but not attention. The contact is now being tracked by every available sensor. Radar paints its path. Systems calculate its speed and vector. The crew watches, analyzes, anticipates. The captain knows the stakes. If that boat drops a mine, it won't just disappear. It will become a hidden danger, waiting silently beneath the waves for the next unsuspecting ship. Clearing a single mine can take hours. Finding it can take longer. And one mistake could cost lives. So stopping the threat before the drop, that's the priority. 5:52 a.m., orders are given. On the aft deck, the stillness breaks as rotor blades begin to spin. The helicopter powers up, fast, aggressive, ready. Within moments, it lifts into the air, cutting through the morning silence as it turns toward the coordinates being fed directly from the ship's systems. It accelerates low over the water, closing the distance quickly. The crew inside is focused, locked in. They don't yet see the target, but they know it's there. Meanwhile, on that fishing vessel, everything is moving fast, but not in panic, in purpose. The men on board are already at work. This is not their first time. One stands watch, scanning the horizon, eyes sharp, nerves tight. In his hand, a radio. In the other, binoculars. He knows what to look for. He knows what it means if he sees it. Below deck, the rest of the team works around the payload. Heavy, metallic, deadly. They secure it with straps, moving with urgency, but not chaos. This is routine, a practiced operation. The crane is prepped, the same one used to haul nets, now repurposed for something far more dangerous. Back on the destroyer, no one looks away. Every movement is tracked, every second is counted. The crew knows what's coming even before it happens. And then, it does. The crane lifts, slowly at first, then steady. The object rises off the deck, swinging slightly as it's guided outward over the water. And just like that, the moment arrives. The payload descends. It disappears beneath the surface. Gone. But not really gone. Now it's a threat. Now it's part of the battlefield. Silence falls for a split second on the ship, not because nothing is happening, but because everything just did. The worst-case scenario has unfolded. Another mine has entered the water. Another invisible danger has been planted. And now the mission changes. Because stopping the drop is no longer possible. Now it's about consequences. But the situation isn't over. Not even close. Because the boat is still there. And so are the men who just made their move. And now they are no longer just suspicious. Now they are confirmed targets. The moment the mine disappears beneath the surface, the entire situation shifts from suspicion to confirmation. There's no more doubt, no more hesitation. This is no longer a potential threat. It is an active one. On board the destroyer, every system is already locked, every operator fully engaged. The fishing vessel is no longer just a contact on radar. It is now a verified hostile asset. But even now, the trigger isn't pulled because the mission has changed again. This is no longer just about stopping the act. It's about exploiting it. The helicopter is closing in fast. Flying low over the water, barely skimming the surface, the Viper cuts through the early morning air like a blade. Inside the cockpit, both crew members are locked in. Coordinates are steady, distance shrinking, seconds ticking. Their eyes scan the horizon until finally, visual contact. A small silhouette appears against the water. That's it. That's the boat. No confusion now. As they get closer, details begin to sharpen. The deck, the crane, the men. Movement everywhere. But something else too. No fishing gear in use, no nets, no signs of actual work. Just activity around where the payload had been moments ago. For the pilots, that's all the confirmation they need. The target is real. Back on the fishing vessel, the atmosphere has shifted as well. The lookout spots it first. A faint shape in the distance, moving fast, too fast. His body tenses instantly. He raises the binoculars, focuses, and freezes. There's no mistaking it. The silhouette of a military helicopter closing in at speed. His heart pounds as he grabs the radio, shouting warnings down to the men below deck. The operation is no longer covert. They've been seen. Panic begins to creep in. The men on deck move faster now, but the rhythm is gone. Precision turns into urgency. Eyes dart across the water. There's nowhere to hide, no time to prepare another move. The mission, at least this part of it, is already complete. The mine is in the water. But escape? That's another story. The helicopter roars closer. Inside, the crew already knows their orders. Do not destroy unless necessary. Capture if possible. Intelligence over elimination. Because the men on that boat, they are more valuable alive than dead. What they know could expose an entire network. Routes, storage sites, command chains, future operations, all of it sits inside their heads. The Viper drops altitude, coming in low and aggressive. The sound alone is overwhelming, a deep, thunderous roar that cuts through the air and slams into the small vessel below. Water churns violently beneath the rotor wash. The fishing boat rocks hard, unsteady, vulnerable. Then comes the moment. A short, controlled burst from the 20mm cannon rips into the water just ahead of the bow. The impact is explosive. Water erupts upward in violent sprays. The sound is deafening. There is no confusion. No misunderstanding. This is a warning, and it is crystal clear. On the fishing vessel, everything stops. The men freeze. The reality hits all at once. They are exposed, outmatched, and completely vulnerable. There is no weapon on that boat that can challenge what hovers above them. No escape route, no backup, just open water, and a machine built for destruction staring them down. One by one, hands begin to rise. Slowly at first, then all at once. The decision is made without words. Survival over resistance. The helicopter stabilizes directly above the vessel, maintaining a tight hover. The crew inside moves quickly now. This is the most delicate part. Fast, controlled, no mistakes. Two operators prepare at the side. Ropes drop. Within seconds, they descend onto the deck, Precise, trained, efficient. Boots hit the surface, weapons up, scanning instantly. One covers, rifle sweeping across the men, ensuring no sudden movement. The other moves in, quick, methodical. Each man is secured one by one, hands pulled behind backs, zip ties locked tight, quick pat-downs, checking for hidden weapons, radios, anything that could pose a threat. The process is fast but thorough. No wasted movement, no hesitation. The captured men don't resist. They don't speak. They already know. It's over. Above them, the helicopter remains steady, engines roaring, maintaining dominance over the scene. One by one, the prisoners are attached to the hoist, lifted off the deck, pulled up into the aircraft. Their feet leave the boat, and just like that, they are no longer part of it. Within minutes, the entire crew is gone. The operators follow, ascending back into the helicopter with the same precision they came down with. The ropes retract, doors close, and then the Viper pulls away, fast, clean, mission executed. Below, the fishing vessel is left behind, empty, drifting, silent. Just minutes ago, it was part of a covert operation. Now, it's nothing more than evidence floating in open water. Back on the destroyer, eyes remain locked on the scene. The helicopter is already turning back, carrying something far more valuable than wreckage. It carries answers, and those answers could change everything. Say next when you're ready for the final paragraph. As the helicopter banks hard and accelerates back toward the destroyer, the mission is far from over. In many ways, it's just beginning. Inside the Viper, the atmosphere is controlled but intense. The captured men sit restrained, silent, their faces a mix of tension and realization. Minutes ago, they were executing a covert operation deep in contested waters. Now, they are assets, living sources of intelligence that could unravel an entire network. Every glance, every movement is watched carefully by the operators. No risks, no mistakes, because what these men know is worth far more than the boat they left behind. The destroyer grows larger in the distance, cutting through the sea like a moving fortress. On deck, the crew is already preparing. The landing zone is clear. Medical and security teams stand ready. Intelligence officers are on standby below deck. Everyone understands the significance of what just happened. This wasn't just an interception. It was a breakthrough. The Viper descends smoothly onto the aft deck, rotors still spinning as the crew moves fast. The prisoners are offloaded immediately, one by one, guided firmly but professionally by armed personnel. Their hands remain bound, their heads lowered. There's no resistance, only the quiet acceptance of a mission that has completely collapsed. They are taken below deck within moments, and that's where the real operation begins. Inside the ship, far from the noise of the rotors and the open sea, the environment shifts. It becomes quieter, colder, focused. Interrogation rooms are prepared, not chaotic, not aggressive, but precise. Strategic. Every question asked here has a purpose. Every answer could unlock something bigger, because this is no longer about one boat. It's about the system behind it. The mine they dropped is just one piece of a much larger puzzle. Somewhere along the Iranian coastline, there are storage sites, hidden bunkers carved into terrain, stocked with naval mines waiting for deployment. There are supply chains moving these weapons from storage to staging points. There are commanders assigning targets, coordinating timing, selecting routes that minimize detection, and there are more boats, just like the one that was just captured, waiting for their turn to move. All of that is now within reach. Back on the bridge, the destroyer doesn't slow down. The patrol continues, because even though one operation has been stopped, the threat hasn't disappeared. That mine is still out there somewhere beneath the surface. Invisible, dangerous, waiting, and dealing with it won't be easy. The ship begins calculating the drop zone based on radar tracking, timing, and the boat's speed at the moment of deployment. A search grid is established. It's not exact, but it's close enough to begin. Soon, unmanned underwater vehicles will be deployed. Small, precise drones designed to scan the seabed using sonar. They will sweep back and forth, mapping the ocean floor, searching for anything that doesn't belong. And when they find it, and they will, the next phase begins. Neutralization. Sometimes it's done remotely. A disposal vehicle places a charge near the mine and detonates it from a safe distance. Other times, when conditions are too complex or visibility is too poor, human divers are sent down. Explosive ordnance disposal teams, highly trained, highly disciplined, and fully aware that one mistake, one miscalculation, could cost them everything. It is slow work, dangerous work, but necessary, because leaving even one mine active in these waters is not an option. Meanwhile, below deck, the interrogation process is already producing results. Names, locations, timelines. At first, the answers come slowly, carefully. But pressure isn't always about force, it's about inevitability. The captured operatives know they've been cut off. No extraction, no backup, no return. And over time, that reality begins to break down resistance. Details start to emerge. Coordinates of storage facilities hidden along the coast, descriptions of underground bunkers used to stockpile mines, routes taken by other vessels preparing for similar missions, even fragments of command structure, who gives the orders, who coordinates the drops, who decides the targets. Each piece of information is logged, verified, cross-referenced, fed into a larger system, and that system begins to respond, because intelligence like this doesn't sit idle. It moves, it spreads, it becomes action. Back above deck, the sea looks the same as it did at dawn, calm, endless, almost peaceful. But beneath that surface, a silent war continues, one fought not just with weapons, but with information, timing, and precision. The abandoned fishing vessel is gone now, sunk beneath the waves after being neutralized by the destroyer's deck gun. No evidence left behind, no trace of the operation except what has already been captured. In data, in memory, and in the minds of the men now sitting in custody below. The destroyer presses forward, because there are always more contacts, more shadows on the radar, more vessels that don't quite move the way they should. And now, with the intelligence gained from this capture, the next encounter won't just be a reaction, it will be anticipation. The balance has shifted. What was once hidden is now being exposed. And somewhere out there, the next operation is already being planned, but this time, it won't go unnoticed.